Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about this new candle from HOMEWORX. This is Mummy Marshmallow. Now, before I get into the meat of this review, I do always like to be upfront when a candle has been sent to me in PR, and that is the case here. HOMEWORX did send this candle to me for consideration. This video is not sponsored by HOMEWORX, but I do want to thank them for sending me this candle for review purposes. And if you've been with my channel for any length of time, you guys know that my thoughts are always 100% my own, whether or not a candle was sent to me for free or whether I purchased a candle. So let's go ahead and talk about this one because I do believe that there is some intrigue around it. I've already been fielding some questions from some of you. So let's go ahead and talk about this one. So this is their standard 4-wick 18-ounce vessel. You can see with the photographic wraparound label. As HOMEWORX is known for doing, their labels really are beautiful, I would say, in terms of when the candle is lit up, the luminary effect that takes place with them. You can see here, even on this label, it's kind of presenting this kind of like eerie background in like a cemetery with a hand coming out. Personally, you guys know I'm not really a fan of Halloween. This label isn't really my taste. But the great thing about a lot of these HOMEWORX labels is that if there's a label that you don't really love, but you love the fragrance, you can always just cut off the label and remove it quite easily. That's also really nice for repurposing purposes, I guess I should say too. So anyways, I will tell you guys that the label on this, even though I know that they're going for like that Halloween vibe, personally, I think that this label probably would have been a little bit more in line with the fragrance if they would have done something a little bit more like quote unquote cutesy Halloween. I think that that probably would have suited the fragrance on this a little bit better. That's me just kind of nitpicking over packaging. But yeah, you can see that the effect here is pretty good. All right, the fragrance notes on this candle are whipped frosting, candy corn, vanilla fluff, and tonka bean. The pour date of this candle that I am reviewing is May 8th, 2024. If you're just coming across one of my candle reviews for the first time, I do typically include the pour date on my candle reviews because I do know that performance can vary from batch to batch. And I do also include in that description box um, the layout of my home, the ceiling height, how the square footage, the environmental factors, all of those things that influence how I am determining how great a candle is performing for me. So if you're not familiar with that already with me, feel free to check that out in the description box down below. All right, so what is my nose smelling here? First and foremost, this is a very sweet vanilla fragrance. I would say that if you're looking for a comparison, which I know Harry doesn't like us comparing fragrances to other, his fragrances to other candle brands. However, that is very helpful for a lot of us especially when you're blind buying a candle. For those of us who have familiarity with Bath and Body Works, this fragrance is very similar to their Vanilla Bean candle. Is it an exact dupe? No, but it's. I would say it would be like a cousin to it in terms of the fragrance profile. You get that the tonka bean is in there. That's a base note. You get the very sugary, sweet whipped frosting accord in there, and there is a candy corn note in here that I will tell you that I smell it on cold. When this is burning, I don't really smell that candy corn as much. But this is what I would describe as just a very, very sweet vanilla fragrance that doesn't have, there's no caramel mixed in with this. There's nothing, there's nothing really like mixed in this. I guess that's the way that I could put it. It's just a very vanilla fragrance that would remind you of the sweetness of a marshmallow in here. Um, Candy corn, like I said, I pick it up on cold, but when this candle is burning, I don't really smell the candy corn as much. And it's funny because a lot of you asked me when I posted this in the HOMEWORX Facebook group, a couple of you asked, does it smell like the Brock's candy corn? Because that's the only candy corn that I think is any good. And I told you, I said, I honestly don't eat candy corn, but my mom did like it. And when she did purchase it, it was the Brock's. So I guess I could say that it smells like the Brock's candy corn. But I guess it's almost a moot point because when this candle is burning, I don't really smell the candy corn as much. I feel like it takes a back seat, and what I get is the more of like a marshmallow type of scent. Like I said, the comparison that I really feel like this is the closest to that of candles that I have smelled or burned in my home before is that it's very similar to Bath and Body Works Vanilla Bean. So fragrance is nice, very sweet vanilla type of scent. In terms of the performance on this candle, let's go ahead and take a look at the wicks here. Now, I just got this candle a couple of days ago, and you can see I'm already at the halfway point. The first time I burned this for about 6 hours, and then I've had 2 other burns on it since then. Now, one of the things that you will see here, these wicks are slightly off center, which is not so much of a problem today, but I will tell you that the first couple of burns, it has only been today that it is kind of corrected. I was noticing some wax accumulating like on the edge of this side over here. And I think that has to do with the fact that the wicks are not centered on this one. Now that again is probably nitpicking. That may just be specific to this particular candle here in front of me. I suspect that it would not have had the pulling out issues had the wicks been a little bit more properly aligned. That being said, I'm not having any issues with these wicks. It did take a little bit longer to pull out, I would say. And I think that these wicks, they're not slower burning because you can see that there are healthy flames on it, right? Let's look at that again. You can see a little bit of wick residue in there. But these are those wicks that they kind of are concerning when you first light up the candle because they look like they're going to be super, super thin and puny. But somehow they become a little bit stronger as the burn goes on. I'm not having any issues with the wicks falling over into the wax pool. And the wick residue is also not altering the fragrance on this candle. All right, strength and throw. All right. I want this candle to be stronger because I do love the fragrance. However, the performance in terms of the strength and the projection is very disappointing to me. I'm going to settle on this candle being around a 4 in terms of strength and throw, you guys, which really disappoints me because I had high hopes when I lit this up that, oh, this one, hopefully it'll perform really well. But I will tell you that I've been burning it in my bedroom. The first 2 times that I burned it in my closed concept bedroom, which has lower ceilings. And while I could smell it in the room, it's a fragrance that I quickly go nose blind to. So I feel like maybe that's one of my challenges with assessing the strength and throw on this one is the fact that I just find myself going nose blind to it. I don't really notice it as much as I come in from like room to room. So I noticed it like the first like 30 minutes that I had it burning. But after that, if I left the room and came back in, I really had to sniff the air to smell it. Now, the last 2 burns that I've been doing of this, I did burn this out in my open concept living room, which has higher ceilings in it and is obviously open concept to the kitchen and whatnot. And when I was burning it last night, I was burning the pumpkin s'mores candle from Bath and Body Works in one of the other rooms. And I will tell you that I was again experiencing the nose blindness when I would walk in from another room into the living room. I felt like the other fragrances that I smelled in other rooms were kind of lingering in my nose enough that when I walked into the room where this was burning, I couldn't really detect it as much. So today, when I've been burning it, and I've already had this candle lit for about 2.5 hours, this is the only candle that I have lit in my house right now because I really, really wanted to gauge like, is this just because I'm putting it up against other candles that are a lot stronger in their fragrance profile that I'm not smelling it? Or is it genuinely a candle that I'm going nose blind to? And unfortunately, I'm settling on the latter there. I've had this one burning for about 2 hours. I would say for about the first 45 minutes when I walked into my living room, I could smell it. It was not a smack me in the face type of smell, but I could detect it in the air. But even at that point, you guys, it was probably at its most around a 5. It wasn't throwing all the way, to the opposite end of the large room. It wasn't throwing into my kitchen. If I was sitting a few feet away from the candle, yes, I could smell it. But again, not just hitting me upside the head with fragrance. Now, in fairness, I will say this with vanilla candles. Vanilla, I have heard, I believe it was Mick Kittredge who talked about this one time on a live. But I think a lot of people who come up with fragrance will tell you that vanilla is oftentimes one of the hardest fragrances to formulate and get some strength out of without compromising the fragrance profile that you are desiring with it. So I think that is actually one of the reasons why Harry Slatkin is known for putting a lot of caramel scents with his vanillas. So if you noticed the vanilla marshmallow cookie that was part of the Christmas in July with QVC, that has a caramel note listed in it. If you notice, his birthday cake candle also has a caramel note listed in it. And those two, even though they're marketed as a vanilla fragrance, they have a little bit greater strength and throw because there is a caramel accord in it. This one does not have a caramel accord, and so therefore it doesn't get great strength and throw. And like I said, I noticed this across various brands. This is also the case usually with Vanilla Bean at Bath and Body Works. Same type of thing we run into. I like the fragrance, but it also hit like a 4 to 5 in my house. It just does not perform well in my house. These, what I would call vanilla, and I mean that in kind of like, when we say like, oh, something's just vanilla, I think that's why they say that. Like, because it's not going to overpower you. It's noticeable and it has a place, but it's not going to take over any other fragrances. And that's genuinely just how I feel about this fragrance. I wish it were stronger. I do know that I have heard from some people that Goose Creek, their vanilla fragrances, which I did review their marshmallow scent, and that honestly was probably the strongest performing vanilla scent that I have ever had in my collection. However, if you've been here, you guys know that I ended up having to send my Goose Creek candles back from the big haul that I did a few months ago because there's something in their wax formula that irritates my sinuses. I don't know exactly what it is. So I can't use their candles, but if their formula doesn't bother you, I would say probably stick to their marshmallows fragrance if you're looking for a good, authentic, or like not authentic, but like a really good, strong performing vanilla marshmallow type of scent. That's probably going to be your best bet. So I hate to give like a womp womp to this review because I do like the fragrance. If you have a smaller home that has more of a closed concept, maybe if you're in an apartment with lower ceilings, then this candle might be a good fit for you. But if you have more of an open concept style of home, I'm going to say probably save your money on this one. The fragrance is nice, but the performance is just not there for what I would like it to be. So please hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful, if you enjoyed it. I have a feeling that a lot of you guys are going to be checking this review out as this candle did just launch on the Slatkin & Co. website today. Like I said, it's been on the QVC website for a couple of days now, but and I say that it's going to be available on the Slatkin & Co. website today. That is what I, as an ambassador, have been told. But I know sometimes HOMEWORX, their availability can sometimes shift depending on shipping. So I'm going to upload this video on Friday, April 16th in hopes that this is available on the Slatkin & Co. website today. I anticipate that it would be because obviously they wouldn't have sent it to me if it wasn't in stock. But yeah, just putting that out there. If you are planning to shop with the Slatkin & Co. website, I do have a discount code with them. It is Katie's Joyful Life. It should save you 15% on orders over $40. Lately, that code has not been able to be used in combination with a lot of their sales that they have been going on, which quite frankly doesn't quite sit too well with myself or a lot of the other ambassadors. But that is an issue that we have taken up with the brand. And I know that they're working hard to make some adjustments on that. But if you want to use a discount code, that is an affiliate code that is eligible for a commission. So please only use that if you're comfortable. And honestly, you guys, I will tell you this every day that ends in Y. If there is a better sale that is going on the brand website than what my discount code can give you, please take that sale every day, like I said, that ends in Y, because ultimately, I'm like you, we all want to be saving the most money that we can with what I have learned can be a very expensive hobby here. So again, please hit thumbs up on this review if you liked it. Feel free to comment down below if you were looking forward to this candle, if you still feel like you want to take a chance on it. Yeah, just feel free to comment down below if you found this video helpful, or yeah, I would say if you have any experience with this candle, but it hasn't even really been available to a lot of people yet. So I don't think that there's a lot of you out there that have experienced this one. All right, I'm starting to ramble as I typically do at the end of my videos. Feel free to subscribe if you are new to my channel. I do a lot of dedicated reviews like this, as well as hauls and empties. I actually plan to have an empties video up for you guys this weekend to share with you. So yeah, lots of fun candle content. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.